Maligayang Pasko mga kapitbahay! Welcome to another episode of Mrs. Galang's Kitchen. Our friends in Bulacan, Bataan, Pampanga, and Tarlac, today we will share with you a recipe. Ano ang pangalan ng ating treat?
Diba usong-uso yung mga cake na nasa jar?
Cake in a
wala
jar.
naman akong jar.
So,
Cake in a glass.
sa glass natin ilalagay.
Yeah.
But it's the same principle. So, huwag kayong aalis. Tamang-tama ang recipe na to for the holiday season. Magbabalik po kami.
So, we're going to do the cake first. So, starting with the cake, we have to mix together the cake flour, the sugar, the baking powder, and then the salt. Although we can just stir this together, I prefer to pass the mixture through a strainer para sigurado ako na walang lumps. Pero pwede na ang wire whip. Pwede na ang wire whip. Ayan, may buo-buo siya. So, para sigurado kayong mapino yung ingredients nyo. And then, of course, to mix the flour with the sugar para hindi siya maging lumpy mamaya. Now, I will just stir with a wire whip para talagang blended. Now, I'm going to return to the small bowl because I'm going to use the big bowl where I'm going to mix the cake mismo. Okay, so, egg yolks. Start with the egg yolks. Ang paggawa po ng chiffon cake, isa lang yan. It's pare-pareho lang. So, once you master the procedure, iba-iba lang ang flavor. You just change the flavor. Add vanilla, add lemon, add orange rind or orange zest, lemon rind, even dayap will do. So, break the egg yolks. Kasi yung mga egg yolk natin, meron dumidikit na parang, sabi ko, pusod ng egg white yun eh. So we have to remove that or tapos I will add the water. Then the flour mixture. By the way, dapat po by this time, nakapreheat na yung oven natin, ha? Hindi tayo pwedeng mag-mix ng chiffon cake na tapos yung oven natin hindi preheated. So I'm going to mix this now. Now, kung naging lumpy ang mixture nyo, pwede ninyong salain, pero ito po, hindi magiging lumpy ito. We have enough liquid. And then add the corn oil. Tapos ngayon, you have to carefully mix this para ma-blend, ma-incorporate yung ating oil, corn oil, doon sa flour mixture. Dahan-dahan ang paghalo para hindi tumakon. Halika na, move faster. Dito ang sabi ko sa inyo, kung merong lamps and you're not comfortable looking at those lamps in your mixture, just pass the mixture to a strainer. Pero I think I'm positive na mawawala lahat yun. At first, when I was just a beginner, I really follow the recipe to the letter. Kasi hindi ko pa alam talaga eh. But by this time, alam ko naman kung kailangan gawin yun o hindi kailangan gawin yan. And like what I always tell my students, baking is exact. Hindi pwedeng biruin ang recipe. Hindi pwedeng basta-basta palitan. You really have to follow. So make sure that your oven at this point is already preheated or about to reach the temperature of 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to bake this in 2 baking pans, isang 12 by 16 by 1 at saka isang 9 by 13 by 1 na naka-lining lang po. May lining lang ng papel. Greaseproof paper. Okay, so we are now ready to beat our egg whites. That's the next step. Ito po ang maselan na parte ng chiffon cake. Dito kayo hindi talaga pwedeng magbiro. So, beat the egg whites till bubbles are fine. Tapos add the sugar gradually. Scrape the sides of your mixer using the blades of your mixer. Kaya po ako maingay dito. And then sugar. So that's the last part of the sugar. I'll pause muna at check ko yung asukal na nandoon sa gilid na sumabit. Make sure that the bitter is clean. Kung hindi, alang mangyayari sa egg white nyo. You'll have to start all over again. Okay, this is done. Tingnan natin ha. So I'll check the tip. Slightly bent. Okay na to. So, I'll eject the bitter. Malinis siya. Now, this is the hardest part and which you really have to master yung pag-fold. You can use the wire whip or the mixer, the beater pala, I mean, or the scraper, and then pour it here. Teka, hindi ako sanay dyan. Dito na lang ako. So, dapat yung oven natin ulit, naka-preheat na siya dapat. Hindi siya maghihintay, hindi maghihintay yung cake sa oven. Ang oven ang dapat maghintay sa cake. I'll pour it here. And fold. Folding po ang tawag dito. It's every aspiring baker, pastry baker should learn how to. Okay, now we will pour this into our pans na naka-line ng greaseproof paper. Walang grease sa ibabaw, just at the bottom. Para lang hindi gumalaw yung papel. Pag binuhos ko yung mixture. So I'll try to make the two cakes level. Para pantay mamaya yung layer natin. Muna ito, baka this one is thicker. And sometimes, not the fault of the baker, sometimes cakes come out thinner on one side and thicker on the other side. Minsan po nasa oven, minsan naman nandun sa baking pan. Kasi yung baking pan, they tend to warp. Ay, parang nagbumabaluktot, bumabalyesta pag nainitan. So, pag nangyari yun, doon sa parte kung saan siya tumaas, manipis yung cake. Kaya kung minsan hindi pantay yung mga cakes natin. Kaya the best thing there is to use a good quality pan which they don't come cheap. Ano yan, medyo mahal. Yung mga hindi nagbabalyesta. Pantayin natin. And bake for about 15 to 20 minutes for this thickness. So we're going to prepare the caramel, the filling. This is 1 can of condensed milk. Over low fire and using a non-stick pan, we'll bring this to a boil. So we're going to bring this to a boil, tapos check natin. I just want a little color at medyo lalapot ng konti. Medyo lalapot lang ng konti, hindi malapot na malapot. So I'm going to lower the flame while I attend to the ganache. Kasi meron na tayong hot water doon. And then, para madali siyang ma-dissolve yung chocolate, I want to grate it. The caramel is now, boiling. Pwedeng iwanan ko sandali ito. Baka masobrahan yan. Konti pa. When it comes to yung mga parang caramel na ganyan, you really have to keep an eye kasi minsan ilang minuto lang, even 1 minute is lahat para masira yan. And then you have to start all over again. So, okay na po ito. I'm going to add the coffee. Dissolve in a little rum. This is a very easy recipe. Kala ni Inkar siya lang marunong gumawa ng easy recipe. Ito, madali rin ito. Buksan niyo yung lata ng contents, haluin niyo sandali sa ibabaw ng mahinang apoy, lagyan niyo ng kape na dinisolve sa rum. And then, I'm adding a little evaporated milk for flavor. At saka kung minsan, kamukha ito, I'll just leave it na medyo nagsisimmer ng ganyan. Pag medyo lumapot ng sobra sa tamang consistency, that's the time I add evaporated milk. Mag-add po tayo ng konti ngayon. Boil natin pa. Pero sige, ubusin ko na lahat ito. Sarap. Mas masarap siya pag meron ganyan. The vanilla will be added later. So, we'll bring this back to a simmer. And this will thicken as it cools, ha? So, pagka-bake ng cake natin mamaya, after cooling for a few minutes, I'll start to cut the cakes. I'm going to use a cutter. Yung tutugma siya doon sa shape ng mga glass kung saan ko siya imomold. Pagkatapos noon, kung medyo lumapot ito, then I'll have to add a little evaporated milk to thin it down. Tapos pour. So, kanya alis, maganda itong gagawin ko at napakadali. Okay, meanwhile, nandito na po yung chocolate na nag-grate. I'm going to place it on top of the hot water. Low fire lang. Pwede nga patayin yan eh. And just wait for it to melt. Lalambot yan, magme-melt yan. Huwag lang kayo mainit. Tapos noon, pag medyo melted na yung kalahati, I'll add the warm all-purpose cream. So, check natin ulit yung consistency nito. Konti pa. The first time I did this, ang kunat ng aking caramel at ang kunat ng aking chocolate. Tapos sabi ko, masarap din. Maski na pang consistency ang magawa nyo rito, masarap siya. Kaya lang, ang gusto ko, pag sa presentation, yung caramel, magti-trickle down dun sa cake, parang i-envelope niya yung cake. Parang makikita mo sa labas ng glass, caramel, a layer of caramel, and then a layer of chocolate. Tapos we will top it with whipped cream, and then we'll put grated chocolate on top. When you see bubbles, ibig sabihin niyan, lumalapot na po yan. Because condensed milk is naturally malapot. Kaya you really don't have to wait for it na lumapot. Naglagay lang ako ng evaporated milk, kaya medyo pinapakulo ko pa ng konti. Init mo lang yung condensed milk, pag lamig, malapot pa rin eh. That's why I use condensed milk instead of sugar. Because sugar is medyo tricky at saka mas matagal. This one is faster, easier. Yung magagawa niyo po sa Pasko. So we're going to add na the vanilla. I don't want a lot. I just put a small amount. This is about 1/8 teaspoon. And then, tapos na to. This is done. As it cools, it will thicken. So, medyo nag-uumpisa na pong mag-melt yung ating chocolate. Now we're going to add the cream na pinainit po natin sa microwave. And then stir. So, ang dali. Napakadali. This is now your ganache. Now, you can set this aside kung hindi pa po ready yung cake nyo. O kaya hindi pa siya, malamig. All you do is put it on top of the warm water at magme-melt na naman siya ulit. So, these are our cakes and all we have to do now is cool them. Then we can start cutting with our round cutters, tapos assemble na. The cake is still lukewarm, pero pwede na. So we're going to use different sizes of glasses. Ito dun sa medyo malakas kumain. Ito dun sa nagda-diet. But I prefer using the short, fat glass. Yung medyo mababa ng konti rito pag makakita kayo. Pero these are good enough. Pupunin na lang natin ang cream. Ito naman, you need 2 cutters here to fit. Yung isa yung mas maliit. Tapos, the next one, ito. So, I will demonstrate one small glass, cake in a glass, and then isang malaki. So, I get my big cutter here for the big one. Hindi siguro yun. Ay, hindi. Tama yung isa. So, kulang ako ng isang malaki. Bali, dalawa. Kasi dalawang layer yan. Baking and preparing pastries needs patience. You have to be sure that magpipit siyang ganyan. Sometimes, pag masyadong masikip, titingnan natin mamaya kung papasok yung caramel sa side. Well, maski na pa hindi siya pumasok, masarap pa rin yan. And then I'll pour about okay. Let it fall doon sa loob, sa gilid ng cake. Now, we're going to put the next layer. Check ko muna yung ating ganas. Ito, ang ginagawa ko dito, pinapalamig ko muna sandali. So, I think gagawa pa ako ng iba para mag-set muna yan. And then, kasi baka mamaya masira yung layer. Tingnan natin. Well, this. Needs to mag-flat siya. Sometimes pag nagmamadali ako, hindi siya nagpa-flat. Now, I'm going to pour the ganache. So now we have layers of cake. Dagdagan pa natin ng konti yung chocolate. Now, we have prepared a few pieces. Hindi naman ito, dalawa lang ito eh. Marami-rami ito. So, I'll set this aside. Kukunin ko na yung naka-ready. Tapos, tatap na natin ang whipped cream yan. You can use the, since wala po siyang asukal, we have to add a little sugar. Mamaya. Of course, if you are in a warm kitchen, palamigin niyo po pati yung bowl. Then we'll add the powdered sugar. Spread the sides of the bowl. little bit more of whipping. So, the finishing touch dun sa ating cake in a glass. Wala po akong maisip na pangalan eh. Tawa nga ako ng tawa nung ginagawa ko ito. Sabi ko, ano kaya magiging pangalan nito? But I'm sure you will enjoy this, chocoholics like me. May takaw ako ng tsokolate. So, all I have to do is cover the top with a layer of whipped cream rosette. Okay, the finished product.
Okay, I am ready with my spoon.
Ibig sabihin, malilit lang ang subo. Malilit lang ang subo. Kasi kaya malilit ang subo. Hindi pwede yan, hindi papasok
Ay,
sa baso.
gusto ko ito. Kaya yan. Okay? Fit in. So, I think this one, ayun na. Mafe-feel nyo, no? Pagtusok ng spoon, dadaan doon sa cream, tapos yung makunat-kunat na chocolate at caramel. Didikit ito.
Baka magsalita.
Ito? Hindi. Pinractice ko yan.
Tingnan ko nga yung malambot na chocolate.
Malambot din yung cake.
Hindi, kasi nung una kong ginawa yan, makunat yung chocolate, malutong-lutong pa nga nung una.
Sarap. Nagme-melt. Of course.
Yeah.
Melts in the mouth.
Ang daling gawin yan.
Layers of cake and kung anong gusto mo i-layer, no?
Actually, parang inano yan doon sa English trifle.
Trifle, di ba? Noon,
Pinukulit mo ako noon para gumawa ng English trifle. Kaya tinatamad.
noon ang tawag, yung trifle kasi, ginagawa yun doon sa malalaking, parang malaking bowl, no? Or dish.
Bowl
They call it
talaga.
trifle.
Here.
Tapos, ganun lang naman po kasi sa mga recipes, no? Yung mga lumang recipes, you give it a new twist, and it becomes entirely different. You see how simple this is? It's just a matter of layering. Kung anong gusto mong i-layer, di ba?
Pwedeng browas nga eh, kung di ka marunong mag-bake ng cake.
Pwedeng fruits, pwedeng whatever you want.
Nakakita nga ako sa Diaro na isang araw, kinyub na let's plan.
Pwede rin, no?
Kaso, kailangan doon sa malaki.
Sa mga tumatawag po, minsan, tatanong.
Ito, pag sa serving na, isa-isa yan sa ano.
Oo, sa guest.
Ngayon, pag
Magandang-
binigay mo ito, sabihin mo, hindi kasali yung baso. Ilang laman, ha?
Okay.
Ibabalik yung baso.
Pwede
sa'yo.
naman, di ba, yung meron din
Oo,
naman
kaya
plastic,
sabi ko, bibili ako ng
transparent
plastic,
cups
yung
na.
mga transparent.
Oo. Ayun, sa mga, minsan ho kasi may mga nag-i-email, nagtatanong, meron po ba kayong lesson sa paggawa ng cake in a jar? Ito lang po yun, no? Hindi binebake doon sa loob ng jar yung cake. Ganito lang siya.
Bake mo siya, tapos kakat mo,
Lalagyan mo ng
size nung container mo, then, lagyan mo na ng
kung anong gusto mo ilagay.
Nuts. Nuts.
Fruits.
Pwede prutas sa ibabaw yan. Kailangan, hindi na ako makabili.
You will
Mga oras.
be limited only by your imagination. Diba? Okay, so
Gawin na po ninyo sa Pasko yan, o kaya
Oo.
sa bagong taon.
practice na kayo para by Christmas, master nyo na, di ba? Pwede rin nga yung cake.
Kung di nyo magawa, order kay Ep4.
So this has been
hindi mangyayari.
another episode of Mrs. Galang's Kitchen. Sana po nagustuhan ninyo ang aming recipe for today. For your questions, comments, and suggestions, send us a message at www.facebook.com/Mrs. Galang's Kitchen. Maraming salamat po and Merry Christmas!